Hey guys, welcome back to the Riceball channel. My name is Ash and this is another Fast FAQ Friday. So in this video, we'll be talking about what is a LED and 5 things to take note when you buy an LED light. So whether you're a beginner photographer or a professional photographer or even a filmmaker, the recent wave of new LED lightings can seem like a totally new concept, but I assure you it can get quite confusing. So today we will try and unravel this confusion, but first let's understand what is an LED light. Let's try and understand the acronym first. LED actually means light emitting diode. So companies take these diodes, calculate and arrange them into certain patterns to create LED lights that some of us use. Moving on to the 5 things to look at when purchasing a LED light. Type of LED lights available. So let's split this up into 2 parts. First one would be the type of lighting and the other part would be the physical design. So let's start with the type of lighting. First, we have the continuous light. So for example, this vulcanized RGB light panel is a continuous light. So it emits a constant stream of light to illuminate the subject, so that you can use it for photography as well as videography. Second, we have the flash. So a flash gives out a short burst of very bright light to suddenly illuminate the subject for a photo. Sometimes you see these being used by event, product, or even portrait photographers. So next, physical design. Because the LED diodes are so small, it can be arranged into many different shapes and sizes, but mainly a light panel like this, or a strobe light design. So LED panels can be found in different shapes and sizes, mainly the square, rectangle, and circle. You can also find them in different housing materials like the metal frame ones, the flexible rollable ones, or even just those hard panels. So again, let's use the example of the vulcanized F7. It is a rectangular portable RGB LED light. So it's like super long, right? But don't worry, we'll break it down one by one. So portable meaning it's small enough to actually put in your pocket or in your bag. It being RGB, it's basically you can select a full spectrum of colors as well as select the saturation of it. So this particular LED light actually consists of 3 different kind of LED diodes. They are the daylight tungsten as well as the RGB light diode. So for this particular design, the LED diodes are arranged in an alternating pattern so that it ensures even and consistent distribution of light throughout the entire light panel. So strobe light designs are based on older strobe flashes like these. The LEDs are packed in replacement of the flash tube as well as the modeling lamp, using similar housing as well as cooling system. And that is the first thing to look out for whether you like a light panel or a strobe light design. Next, mono, bicolor or RGB. Photography and filmmaking lightings are traditionally mono lights, so they only come in either a daylight or tungsten, so you have to choose either one. So similarly, LED lights, you can also find them in either daylight or tungsten. But they also come in bicolor variants, a light unit that you can actually choose between a range of tungsten to daylight. So in this case, LEDs are more accurate in terms of Kelvin, so we'll use the Kelvin in numbers. They typically range from 3000 Kelvin up to 5600 Kelvin. The higher end models, you have a bigger range, 2500 Kelvin all the way up to 9000 and above. So this gives you more flexibility in terms of matching to your ambient lighting. So for example, if you are shooting in a sunset, your sun currently is at 4500 Kelvin, you can set your light straight to 4005 and you don't have to worry too much about the color difference. So RGB actually means red, green and blue, but in this case we are referring to a light unit like this that allows you to choose a spectrum of colors to illuminate your subject. And that is the second thing to take note of, whether you would like a mono light, a bicolor for flexibility, or a RGB for creative lighting. The next up is quality of light. Scratch that, let's split them up into 3. Harsh light, soft light, and science of lighting. So when considering LED lights, they come in different shapes and sizes. So let's look at it objectively. Harsh light produces well-defined shadows with clean lines, while the soft light produces a gradient, smooth gradient shadow. So what has this got to do with the size of the light? Generally, the smaller the light source, the harsher the shadow. And the bigger the light source, the smoother the shadow will be. And that is the third thing to look out for, size of the light and how harsh or soft you want the light to be. So next up is CRI and TLCI. So over the course of learning about lighting, you've probably heard of things like the CRI and TLCI. So what do they actually mean? CRI, what does it stand for? Color Rendering Index. Okay. In simple terms, CRI is basically a national exam for lighting. So the higher the score, the better. Current standard is 95 and above. TLCI refers to the Television Lighting Consistency Index. If you would like to learn more about these two measurements, you can check out the link down in the description. Yes, we know that there is many different variables and factors that affect the color rendition of your subject. But in the aspect of a light unit, this light unit, how accurate can it replicate, for example, a white sheet of paper or my skin tone, so that you see the most accurate color compared to natural light. And that is the fourth thing to look out for. A CRI of 95 and above will give you the bare minimum for the TLCI standard, meaning you can expect pretty accurate and good colors. Next is watt, lumens and intensity. So in lighting, the watt refers to the draw rate of your light unit. Some people use this as a very basic comparison for the brightness or the intensity of the light. But of course, lumen is a more accurate measure of brightness. It is the SI unit for luminous flux. However, it does get complicated very quickly. Most companies will measure their own lumens of the light. However, you have to be careful when they say, for example, 13,000 lumens. Yes, that sounds like a very bright light. But what they actually mean is 13,000 at 0.5 meters, for example. Company measures them at different distances, so you gotta look out for the distance that it is measured at. So this is the fifth more important thing to take note of, which is the lumens at what distance. And that is the 5 things to consider. So in summary, number 1, light panel or strobe light. Number 2, monolight, bicolor or RGB lights. Number 3, the size of the lights. Number 4, CRI 95 and above. And number 5, lumens and the distance measured. So I hope that this video has been informative enough for you to understand what a LED light is and what to look out for when you purchase one of these guys. So if you do like this kind of video, give us a thumbs up, subscribe to us, and comment down below what topic would you like us to cover next. And we'll see you next week. Next. A normal flash will give out one very bright flash. One damn bright light. CRI means color rendering index. So CRI, what does it stand for? Cry. So for example, if let's say the light is a little bit more grayish, no, what the f***, grayish? Cut that, no pros and cons.